What up, peeps? We are back, and ESBC's been a little quiet, but they hit us off with another dev update with new gameplay this week. And I want to kind of take the time to break this down since the last video we received, believe it or not, was 6 months ago, so it's been a while. ESBC has been over there straight grinding. I believe we did get the E3 video also somewhere in between that time, but it's been a while. And right off the bat, this game is looking phenomenal. This build is definitely a step up from the build that they had 6 months ago. The fighter models seem to be a little bit more refined, and this all could be due to the camera angle as well, because we're at a distance. But at this distance, their shape is looking, I mean, this looks just like Fury looks in the ring when he's in shape. And yeah, they definitely did Fury a little bit of justice around the waist. but like they said, it's not a bodybuilding contest, it's a fight. So I mean, this Wilder render just looks spot on to me. It looks amazing. The position that Deontay is holding his gloves, Fury has that right hand high as well. Anyone who's seen those 3 fights, this is almost like the posture that they fought in when they fought in that trilogy. It's just crazy how they captured that. And one of the things that also stood out to me was the fact that you see these shadows. These did not exist in the last build, and it could be because of the camera angle. The camera angle in the last dev update video was a closer camera angle, so we don't get this perspective. And you may have been able to see the shadows a little bit, but not like this latest build. But the shadows look really good, and the lighting is without a doubt enhanced in this build. Like if you look at Wilder's shoulders and his forehead, how that light is just shining directly off of his shoulders. Fury, the back of his head, his back, and you could tell that the shadows are in full effect because if you look down towards like Wilder's legs and Fury's legs, it's much darker in those areas. That's where the shadow, and you look at the position of the shadows, I mean, this lighting system is doing what it's supposed to do. It looks really good. And another thing, from this camera view, this camera angle right here, look how big this ring is. I cannot wait to get my hands on a pure boxer, and I have all this real estate to work with, which makes me think, will they introduce different ring sizes into this game? But if I have all this real estate here, and here, just around these areas, I am ready to throw that jab, turn, and just box somebody's ears off if I can. That seems like that can be part of somebody's strategy for sure. This ring looks pretty big to me. The movement is exactly on point, similar to what we saw in the last video 6 months ago. So the same postures and the movement seem to be definitely on that same point. But the way these fighters are throwing punches, like these right hands from Wilder, and just the combinations. I mean, he's turning the hips, and man, it's really making an impact. They really turned up whatever they did to this to turn up the punches has just been amazing. And the head movement from Fury looks excellent. The way Fury's bobbing and weaving and ducking and slipping the punches. Also, I've heard some comments, if Wilder hit Fury with this 2-piece, he would be knocked out. That's possible, but you see how close they are. Maybe there's something in place because he doesn't have full extension on these punches, so maybe he's not getting full power, which makes sense. I mean, the closer you are, you're not going to get that full extension. If Wilder had some distance, maybe it would be lights out. A couple other little things that I like. It looks like you have the trainers outside of the ring. You see this in fights today, so that's really good detail. And you could tell they're not just outside the ring, they are very observant. You can tell they're studying their fighter, definitely paying attention to what's going on in the ring, and just realistic from that standpoint. If you look over here in the blue corner, it even looks like the trainer is barking out instructions. You can tell he's animated, he's kind of yelling, maybe telling them to work the jab a little bit more, but these are really good details. The inside fighting looks very solid. I mean, it looks like you could really go to war with your opponent. I am curious, right now, you know, the fighters are kind of eating shots. I'm curious if you could use your forearms, use the palm and kind of block those uppercuts. I'm curious to see more of the blocking system to see how you can avoid those uppercuts, whether, like I said, whether you could smother those a little bit more or get in a defensive posture where you could actually block those incoming attacks. And the way punches are landing, they are really turning into these shots. As you can see, it's really having an impact. I mean, the necks are completely snapping back. You can definitely tell when you get a good shot in. These punches are pretty devastating. They have really tightened up this punch system. Right here with Wilder throwing these punches, you could just tell things are much more snappier compared to the video 6 months ago. Things are really shaping up. One combination that I saw, this combination by Caleb Plant on Carl Froch, I was really impressed with it because he threw a double left hook. But look at the position of where these hooks land. Boom, one like right on the back of the neck, one on the top of the head. Then he follows it up with the right hand, but I've never seen that before in a boxing video game. It's just, that was one of the most realistic punch combinations that I've seen, because you're not going to land your punch in the same spot every time. It literally landed in, that left hook landed in 2 different areas of his head. I thought that was really impressive. And the last bit of detail that I wanted to point out would be, look at the facial expressions after these fighters get hit. And when you slow it down, you could really just see the impact, the full impact of these punches landing. I mean, boom, look at the facial expressions. The force of the punch is causing an effect on the fighter's face. And this goes along with the physics. So the face is moving. I mean, you've seen those highlight reels and clips of fighters just getting hit and just seeing how the physics and the force just has this same effect where it's just moving the face. I like that they're adding this bit of detail into the game. It's really dope. And that's it, peeps. Let us know what you think about this new update, this latest build of ESBC, the gameplay. I think everything is shaping up. Things are starting to look much sharper than the last build, and I'm just excited to see more and more updates from ESBC. I know it's been 6 long months, but we know they're working, and it shows here. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and also we will keep you updated with all the latest and greatest sports gaming news. And you know what it is. Until next time.